on, let's get on with it. I don't want to hang around here all day.
Gee. Let's begin by introducing ourselves.
My name is Bettina Moran. I burn things.
My name is Billy Casper.
Go on, Billy.
My name is Billy Casper and I started a fire.
That's fine, Billy.
My name is Phil Glubnick. They told me I'm a pyromaniac.
My name is Bobby Cavanaugh. I started a fire.
I'm Joshua Rand. I set fires.
My name is Howard Kramer, and I've started a couple of fires.
I'm Joseph Barton. I light fires.
Mr. Todd? Mr. Todd?
The name's Marvin Todd. And I don't know what the hell I'm doing here.
Oh, I think you do.
I'm a professional. I don't belong with this bunch of sickies.
Quiet!
Please, please.
Quiet!
Bettina, let's go back to you. Tell us about your fires.
Well, I just hate old cars. Ugly, nasty things messing up the streets.
Is it the cars you hate, or the people driving them?
Oh, no, it's the cars. That's why I burn them.
Do you feel better afterwards?
Sometimes.
Do you burn anything besides cars?
Like what?
Oh, like houses, buildings?
Burn a house? What do you think I am, some sort of a freak? No, I just burn old cars.
Tell us about it.
Well, it's always at night. On a night when I'm real restless and can't sleep too good. You see, I live alone. Always have. The streets would be so lovely at night if it weren't for those things. Those dirty, nasty old things.
Enjoy watching the fire?
Oh, yes. It's terrific to stand in a crowd and be the only one who really knows what's happening. And everyone seems to enjoy themselves, except maybe the owner of the car.
Hey, Doc. That old broad over there, all with the shopping bag?
Yeah, what about her?
Seen her at the last couple of car fires. I think we better tell the captain.
Forget it, man. We're looking for a pyro, not some little old lady.
Sometimes I feel like shouting and telling everyone, I did it. But I never do. No, I never do.
Oh, brother.
Billy, would you like to tell us about your fires?
I just like to play with matches.
What are you making, Billy?
New house?
That's nice, Billy. We could use a new house.
It was an accident. I didn't mean to start no fire.
You poor baby. Did the whole house burn down?
Only my room.
Hey, I don't see what the big deal is. It was an accident. The kid never started a fire before. That's right, isn't it?
Well, once I ripped the garage a little bit, but my dad took the blame for it. He said he did it by accident. I guess he was real ashamed of me and didn't want anyone to find out.
Philip, tell us about your fires.
I just like to light fires.
Any particular type of fire?
Anything that burns.
Why?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Jeez, what was that?
Yuck, what a creep.
No, you don't know why I start fires.
How many have you started?
I never counted.
Bobby, it's your turn.
There's really just not that much to tell. I was living with this guy. I thought we were going to get married. And then I found out he was cheating on me. I guess I just went bananas. I don't even remember starting the fire.
Had you ever done anything like that before?
Yeah. My folks used to get me so damn mad. One time it was Christmas Eve, and my dad wouldn't let me go out with this guy. I mean, it was really dumb. Just because the guy had a motorcycle.
What did you do? Was anyone hurt?
I really don't want to talk about it anymore.
Hey, baby, you're a real joy to have around.
Come on, man, get off her case, huh? Just keep your mouth to yourself.
Josh, why don't you tell the group about your fires?
I belong to this activist group, the SFS, Students for a Free Society. Our charter is derived from the Illuminati, who were politically...
Please, Josh, just the fires.
Okay. We set protest fires, right? Banks, loan companies, government buildings, any organization that exploits or undermines the rights of the individual. Remember that little civil disturbance downtown a couple of years ago? Well, that was some of our handiwork. We got a lot of press on that one. And, of course, everyone knows it's arson. But they can't touch us. Not without catching us or finding some way to tie us to it.
What a bunch of flaming amateurs.
You lousy torch.
Gentlemen, please.
It's punks like you that give this business a bad name. No class, no style.
I'll show you some style.
Sit down, Joshua, and be quiet. Both of you.
Easy, kid.
Howard, would you like to share with the group?
Yeah, why not? Well, I've started 4 fires in my life, but I've never done one bit of damage. In fact, I usually put the fires out myself.
If you don't do any damage and you put them out yourself, why even bother starting them?
Because he's a vanity pyro.
A what?
A vanity pyro. You do it for the attention or to get a raise?
A little bit of both.
Fire, we've got a fire here. The Galton Manufacturing Company, 1236 Allendale. It's in the warehouse. Hurry, please, hurry. Mr. Dalton, Kramer here. We've got a fire in the warehouse. Yes, sir, I've already called them.
Kramer, what happened?
Yeah, I don't know, Mr. Dalton. Could be one of the night crew dropped a cigarette in the trash.
Oh, thank God it didn't spread. I've got a $2 million inventory here, and only half of it's insured.
He had it pretty well under control by the time we got here.
Oh, good work, Kramer. Say, I want to see you in my office first thing in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Far out. Did you get your raise?
Well, that time I did. A big one. Plus a nice little mention in the local paper.
Joe, you have a rather unusual fire motive. Tell the group about it.
Well, you see, I'm a thief. And I only steal things that'll burn. Like cash, stocks, bonds, rare books, paintings, that sort of stuff. After I rob a place, I start a fire. That way the people don't know they've been ripped off. They think they've been burnt out.
What's the point?
Well, it's simple. Say I steal some negotiable bonds and the people know they've been stolen. The cops will have a description to every buyer in the country and I can't fence them. But if they think they've been burnt, there's no description and I'm home free.
Do you make the fire look accidental?
Well, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
What if they think it's arson?
Guess who gets blamed?
The homeowner. Sure, he's got the insurance.
Right on. I just got to be careful it doesn't look like burglary. And usually, the fire department takes care of that for me. See, what I do is go in through the entrance most likely to be used by the firemen. And I try not to be a pig about it. I'll leave a couple of items, like a few pages of stamps, so there'll be some evidence of a fire loss. Then I'll split through the same entrance I came in.
When the firemen make their entry, they usually cover up the evidence of my entry. And by the time they finish putting it out and cleaning it up, well, it's damn hard to tell if a $100,000 stamp collection is missing or has been turned into soggy ashes. It's amazing how many times it's worked.
Well, Mr. Todd, looks like you finally have the floor.
Yeah, let's hear it from the torch.
Damn it, I'm a pro. I resent being lumped with these amateurs. In the past 20 years, I have set over 200 fires, professionally. It's how I make my living. But take a look at this one. Do you think she sets fires to earn a decent day's pay? Hell no. She does it for some screwed up idea of getting even with the world. You'd never know it by looking at her. That sweet old lady. Come on. It's fun playing with matches, isn't it, kid? Crawling into some dark, secret place and then scratch 'em. Comes to light then. Lots of power, huh? Show me a daylight, motiveless fire, and 99 times out of 100 it's the work of some kid. And many times the parents know about it. They'll lie like hell to save little Junior. And this one, I can't believe. I mean, he's straight out of the textbook. The classical pyro. You can spot him a mile off. Some creepy young guy that no chick will even get close to. Kind of guy thinks the whole world dumps on him. Lighting those fires makes you feel like the big man, huh, pal? Oh. And then there's our grudge pyro. Don't get 'em mad, because they'll burn you to the ground. Just pure spite, childish revenge. Never planned, and almost always at night. All you gotta do is look for the motive. They're the easiest to catch. But if you think she's a menace now, wait till she goes through her menopause. Ooh, then watch out. Now this is the kind of grudge nut to worry about, because he plans it, and he's real smart. He knows that without the eyeball witness, he's got it made. And then we have our vanity pyro, the big hero. Always got the fire under control. Let's give him a pat on the back, a raise in pay, and he's satisfied. But just take away his publicity and he'd never do it. But I marvel at the talent of our cover-up artists. Most of the time, they're not this clever. Usually, the fires are unplanned, spur-of-the-moment things. Maybe they messed up the job, left prints all over the place, or maybe they've killed someone. Yeah, I've known people to cover up murder by burning down the building. Sure, the body's found, but it's sometimes labeled death by fire or smoke inhalation. In my whole career, nobody's ever been hurt in one of my wick jobs. Not even a fireman. What about you, Joe? You ever hurt anyone with one of your fires? Ever kill anyone?
Hey, hotshot, don't tell us about us. We know about us. What about you?
I told you. I'm a businessman. I sell fires.
Yeah, but who buys them?
Usually guys in business. Maybe they're in bad financial shape and they need some money fast. So they hire me. And I let them sell their business to the insurance company.
Nice way to make a living.
Keeps the kids in school.
You say you've set 200 fires?
212, but who's counting?
212.
212.
Hey, I bet you've used some wild igniters.
Oh, igniters, yeah. I've used them all.
Oh.
Electrical, mechanical, chemical. You name it, I've used it. I remember when I was first starting out, I was a real nut on remote control. I used to jury rig a telephone bell. So all I had to do was dial my fire. Or I'd set up a little radio receiver with a relay. But after a while, I realized this was all pretty amateurish.
Why amateurish? Sounds kind of slick to me.
Evidence, man. Hard evidence. Those neat little devices are still around after the fire, screaming, arson, arson. It's tough. I can't always do it, but it's the professional way. Just strike a match and split. Simplicity. That's my motto.
Weren't you ever scared of getting caught?
By who?
Fire department? The police?
Are you kidding? The firefighters are so damn busy putting out the fire, they don't even think about arson. You see, I try to plan my fires during mealtimes or when it's rainy or nasty out. That way, the firemen are real anxious to get back to the station. They're not as sharp as they should be.
But what about the investigator?
Usually by the time he gets to work, all the evidence is a burnt, soggy mess. And good luck getting any dope from the firefighters who'd been at the scene. No, kid. I was never afraid of getting caught. But if it was me on the other side of the fence, then I'd be worried. Real worried.
What would you do?
What do you mean?
If you were a firefighter, what would you do to prevent arson?
Ooh, heavy question. But I'll tell you, you're asking the right guy. Because if I was a fireman, I'd be the sharpest damned arson investigator in the world.
I'm not talking about your being an arson investigator. I'm talking about being a firefighter.
I know what you mean. Who do you think's got the best shot at arson investigation? Not the dude that comes later when the fire's out and the ashes are cold and all the information secondhand. No way. It's the first-in firefighter. He's the guy that's going to get the most accurate dope on the fire. First of all, if I was a firefighter, I'd consider every fire a personal challenge. Not just to put it out, but to find out how it started. People can get killed in fires. Hell, I could get killed. And what a damn shame to have the whole department fighting an arson fire when across town there's a home burning down by accident, with no one left to put it out. And there's little satisfaction in putting out a fire if you know that the guy started it's going to set another. And maybe this time you'll kill someone. What most people don't realize is that arson causes more dollar damage than any human activity in the world, aside from war. Now, I figure the biggest part of any fireman's job is to prevent fires. And a good way to do that is to stop the arsonist. Oh, I don't mean single-handed, but there's an awful lot the firefighter can do to see that the guy's caught.
Well, come on, you said it yourself. Those guys are so busy putting out the fire, they don't have time to think of anything else.
A lot of fire chiefs think the evidence is destroyed in the fire anyway. No evidence, no case.
Baloney. There's almost always some evidence around, but if no one thinks of arson, no one's going to look for it. And all the trained investigators, with all their fancy equipment, they're not worth diddly squat without the help of that first-in firefighter.
But what can he do? I mean, aside from all the humping and sweating and smoke chewing.
I'll tell you what I'd do. First of all, I'd always be taking mental notes of everything I see. Say I'm rolling up to a residential fire at 2 in the afternoon. I see the house is fully involved. Man, that fire spread too far for a normal fuel load and an accidental start. Right off, I'd be suspicious. I'd be noting the color of the smoke. Dense, black, and heavy usually means petroleum. As I got closer, I'd be sniffing real hard. Do I smell anything different? And I'd take a real quick look at the crowd. Are they doing anything unusual?
What kind of unusual?
Anything. If I saw some chick with her thumb up her nose, I'd try to remember it.
Why? What's that supposed to mean?
How should I know? But it's unusual, right? So I'd pass this little piece of information on. Let the investigators decide whether it's important or not. All I'm doing is gathering raw data, like a newsreel camera. And I'd keep that brain camera going as I approach the fire. Are the shades up or down? Are the curtains drawn or open? Has there been a forcible entry? And just as I started spraying water, I'd quickly size things up. Is the fire unusually hot? What's the color of the smoke? What's actually burning in the room? What's not burning? Does the fire have a strange location, like the middle of the floor? Is the source obvious? Are there multiple sources?
Hey! Get serious. You trying to tell me a fireman is gonna get that much information in a split second?
Yahoo!
What the hell was that?
You tell me.
I just saw some idiot jump up and holler for no reason.
Is that all you saw?
That's all I had to see.
I think he pulled his ear, too.
And he did something to his nose.
Didn't he shake his head?
And I saw him cross his legs.
You mean you saw all that in less than a second? Wow.
Okay, I get it.
You see, the point is, your eyes, your nose, your ears, they can record a fantastic amount of information. A lot faster than your voice can possibly describe it. During a fire, in a couple of seconds, a man could get data that would take hours to talk about. All I do is just file it away and recover it later, when I've got the time. Once I start fighting the fire, I'd use as little water and as light a stream as possible. I try to preserve the scene as close to original shape as I could. Once that fire was out, I'd delay the overhaul till I figured out the cause. And if it didn't look accidental, I'd put in a call for the investigators. Right now. If I saw anything that looked like it could be evidence, I'd be damn sure not to handle it. Nothing like a lot of different glove marks or fingerprints to louse up an investigation. I remember when I first got started in the business. I used to hang around, watch the firemen clean up. I was back in the days when I was into those tricky mechanical devices. I once saw the overhaul crew actually throw away one of my gadgets, a juicy piece of evidence, and they just buried it. And I remember another time, geez, I was cocky back then. I actually breezed by an entire overhaul crew and walked off with the evidence of my job. Man, if I were a fireman, that'd never happen. In most cases, the fire department has legal jurisdiction over a fire scene. It means that a fireman's got enough clout to keep people out of the area.
What if it's the owner and he wants to check for valuables?
Then I just turn him over to the captain. Let him handle it. You know, it's amazing the people you find at the fire scene. Just look at us. I've been there a few times myself. Bettina, you said you're there. Phil, I'll bet you're always in the crowd.
No, not always.
Hey, Josh, you hang around the fire?
Are you kidding? Miss all that excitement?
Howard? Well, we know you're always there. Joe, what about you?
No, never.
Okay, but those of us that do stay, we leave when the fire goes out, right? Long before the investigator shows up. Man, if I was a fireman, I'd be real curious about the people I saw at a fire. Especially guys like Howard who seem to have everything under control. Or the guy that can lead you up 8 flights of stairs and down 12 crooked halls to a tiny fire in a broom closet. And I'd be just a little suspicious of the dude that's really anxious to help. And I'd sure tell the captain about seeing anyone that I'd seen at a previous fire.
One with the shopping bag?
Yeah, what about her?
I've seen her at the last couple of fires.
Forget it, man. We're looking for a pyro, not some little old lady.
If there was a fire department photographer around, I'd have him grab some pictures of the crowd so we could compare them with photos of bystanders at other fires. I'd try to get the name and address of every witness I could find. I'd want to know what they saw, who they saw, what they heard, who turned in the alarm, all that good stuff. And I'd have 2 cardinal rules. Number 1, write it down. I'd never trust this sort of thing to memory. And number 2, I'd keep my big mouth shut, tight.
What do you mean by that?
I'll show you what I mean. Josh, let's say you just set this fantastic insurance fire. Howard, let's say that you are a part-time fire chief with an electrical business on the side. Joe, you're an arson investigator. Bettina, the prosecutor. Billy, the judge. Bobby, the defense attorney. Phil, the jury. And I'll be a reporter. Say, Chief, what caused the fire?
Clear me, Bucko. It looks like a short in the wiring.
Shorten the wiring, eh? Accident, you say?
It looks that way.
Chief, that fire was no accident. It was arson.
No accident. Arson, you say?
Looks that way. I nabbed him today.
We'll put him away. Our department has decided the cause of the fire was definitely arson.
Your witness.
Thank you. Chief, are you an expert in determining fire cause?
I am.
Can you read?
Well, of course.
Then read this.
Good grief.
Big mouth. He's innocent.
Case dismissed.
We won.
Evil triumphs.
You're kidding. You mean something like that really happened?
You better believe it did. Man, I'll tell you, if I was a firefighter, I'd rather eat a ton of hot ashes than be made to look stupid.
Yeah, but all those neat little techniques you talked about, how many firemen you think actually do them?
Hey, let me tell you about my last job. I'd been hired to torch this warehouse. It's a tricky job, so I've got to bring in some material. Saturday afternoon and no one's around. Still, I'm cautious. I'm wearing some old work clothes, so I'll blend in. Anyone sees me, they won't notice me, right? I use some flammable trail and a candle. Gives me about an hour to get away from the scene. Very simple, very positive, and damn little evidence, right? There were a bunch of kids in the alley, and I think they might have seen me. But hell, here it is at least an hour before the fire, and I look like I belong there. No problem, right? Well, the fire went off like gangbusters. The firemen got there before the ceiling caved in. One of the guys must have spotted the remains of that candle and got suspicious. And I guess the captain must have told his men to start looking for witnesses.
Any of you kids see anybody around here right before or after the fire? Anyone at all?
Nobody. I saw some guy.
What guy?
Just some guy. Yeah, I remember, but he looked like he worked around here.
When did you see him?
Must have been a couple of hours ago, way before the fire.
What did he look like?
I don't know, he was just some guy.
Tall, short, thin, fat?
Hey, he was just some guy.
If I was that fireman, long about now, I'd just packed it in. But for some reason, that sucker just hung in there.
All about this guy that was different. Was he carrying anything? Anything at all?
He was carrying a suitcase. Oh, yeah. It wasn't a suitcase, though. It was something special. We bought one just like that from my dad for Christmas.
What's your dad do?
He's a salesman. It was the same color and everything.
Let me have your dad's name and address.
It's Marty Klein, 18623 Celtic Street.
So he turned the information over to the investigators, and they must have taken a picture of the case owned by the kid's dad. Then they started getting the names of people who had recently bought a new sample case. Man, they must have talked to a billion salesmen.
And then what happened?
They nailed me.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your cooperation.
Mommy, I want to stay here with my friends.
We're going home right now.
Hey, lady, take me instead.
So the big businessman finally blew it.
It's just one of those freak things. 1,000,000 to 1 shot. They just got lucky.
Didn't sound like luck to me.
Yeah, more like a lot of hard work. Some firefighter really using his head.
Big deal. You'll never catch me again.
We'll never get any of us again.
Damn right. By the time we get out of here, we'll be too old to move.